Hi everybody, I'm Andrew for CGTUT, and in this last tutorial we will finish the model of the lens. So let's create the cylinder and change the size to 36. Let's move it to a center like this and convert it to editable poly. Now we have to select all polygons except this one and delete them. Now let's select this border and using shift and scale, let's scale it 2 times like this, and using shift and drag let's give some thickness to the element. And scale it a little bit. Now let's scale it again and move it. Now let's select this group of polygons and extrude them with negative value like this. Now let's scale again this border and apply cap. Let's also apply inset to this polygon and connect one loop. Now from back view we have to connect one more loop matching with this one. So this is good. And let's select this loop and holding Control let's click on polygon mode. Actually we have to select only this loop and scale it like this. Now let's rotate the element with 5 degrees and select this ring and connect one loop. Now let's do the same with this ring and delete the polygons. Now let's bridge these edges. And apply chamfer to these 4 loops. Let's also connect loops close to the edges. Now we have to connect only one loop here. And do the same here. Now let's select these 2 polygons and using shift and drag let's clone them to a separate object. And now let's move the border like this and apply cap. Let's connect these vertices and move the polygons like this. Now let's select this vertex and turn on the snap toggle, and let's create this straight line. Now let's select these polygons and extrude them. Two times, like so, and extrude also these two polygons. Let's change this to focal normal, and this is good. Now let's just move the vertices like this. And apply inset to these polygons. Now let's delete these polygons and again with snap toggle move the edges like this and apply extrude with negative value, and again delete these polygons. Now let's select this ring and connect 21 loops is good, and let's deselect these edges and connect one loop. Now let's connect these vertices and remove the edges. Now let's select every second polygon like this. And extrude them with positive value and scale them a little bit. Now let's delete these polygons. And let's create another cylinder and align it to a center like this. Let's reduce the height segments to 1 and rotate it with 5 degrees. Now let's apply inset to these polygons and then hit bridge. Now we have to connect loops and delete these polygons. Now using the snap stereo, let's match these polygons to these lines. And let's connect one loop and one more like this. Let's attach these elements and select these polygons. And hit bridge like this. Let's just delete these polygons and move these vertices. Now let's apply tutorial mode to see what we have and connect loops close to the edges. Now let's see what we have. Let's select these two loops and apply chamfer with lower amount. And connect one loop and one more here. Now this is good, but let's go to isolation mode and connect loops close to this edge. And more loops close to this one. Now everything is fine, so let's delete this tutorial mode and apply symmetry and select the mirror. Now let's rotate it like this and apply symmetry again. And now let's convert it to editable poly and remove these loops. Now let's apply to smooth. Let's select this element and connect one loop like this and apply chamfer with lower amount. Now let's select these two rings and let's just deselect these edges. And connect two unfinished loops like this. Now let's select these two loops and remove them. Let's also select this polygon and hit grow and extrude the polygons like this to create supporting edge and hit apply. Now let's continue. Like this. And select again these polygons. But before that, let's select these edges. And connect loop close to this edge. Now let's extrude the polygons and change this to local normal and extrude them. Now if you apply turbo smooth, we can see what we have. It's pretty good, so let's apply symmetry. And again let's remove these whoops. Now let's apply turbo smooth, and let's select these polygons and hit grow. Now let's move them to separate objects and remove these whoops. Now let's select the rings and connect edges like this, and now let's select every second edge like this. Now let's move them and hit ring. Now let's just deselect these edges and apply chamfer with our amount 0.5 is good. And now let's change the palette point to a center and move these elements like this. Now let's scale it a little bit. And let's apply symmetry and move the mirror to this point here, and let's rotate it again. And apply turbo smooth. Now let's select these elements and group them. Now let's align the cap to this element and scale it like this. Let's ungroup this and move this a little bit and scale again this. So now that's everything. This is the whole lens. So I hope that this tutorial was helpful for you, and I'll see you next time.